Welcome back. Democrats divided as Zohran Mamdani's political revolution shakes the party. The Democratic Party is facing a growing identity crisis, and at the center of it all is New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Just 6 months into his first term, the 34-year-old Democratic socialist has pulled off what many political insiders are calling one of the most stunning victories of the year. His hand-picked candidates swept major Democratic primary races, defeating powerful establishment-backed politicians and sending shockwaves through Washington and beyond. But while progressive activists are celebrating, many top Democrats are sounding the alarm. So what exactly happened, and why are political leaders on both sides of the aisle suddenly paying so much attention to Zohran Mamdani? Let's break it down. On Tuesday night, Mamdani-backed candidates scored a series of major victories in New York. 3 congressional candidates supported by the mayor defeated establishment favorites, including 2 sitting members of Congress. His influence didn't stop there. Several state legislative candidates he endorsed also won their races, dramatically expanding his political reach. For progressives, the results were proof that voters are hungry for change. Mamdani says working-class Americans have been ignored for too long. He argues that Democrats need to return their focus to affordability, wages, housing, and economic security. Speaking after the victories, he declared that he hopes to help write a new chapter in Democratic Party history, one where working people are once again at the center of the political conversation. But not everyone in the party agrees. Some of the most powerful Democratic leaders quickly moved to distance themselves from Mamdani's growing influence. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries downplayed the significance of the victories, while other moderates argued that New York politics do not necessarily reflect the rest of the country. Critics worry that the Democratic Party could be moving too far left at a time when it needs to win competitive races in swing districts. They fear that slogans like "tax the rich," calls to abolish ICE, and strong criticism of Israel could become political liabilities in key battleground states. Meanwhile, progressives see things very differently. Supporters argue that voters are frustrated with the status quo and are demanding bold leadership. Senator Bernie Sanders praised the results, saying Americans are increasingly tired of establishment politics. Other progressive lawmakers called on Democratic leaders to embrace the energy and ideas driving these victories instead of resisting them. And then came the reaction from former President Donald Trump. Trump seized on the moment, accusing Democrats of embracing what he called radical left politics. He labeled Mamdani's allies as communists and suggested their rise represents a dramatic shift inside the Democratic Party. Republicans are already preparing to use Mamdani and his allies as a political weapon heading into the midterm elections. GOP strategists believe they can tie Democratic candidates across the country to the progressive movement emerging from New York. But Mamdani remains unfazed. He insists that fighting for working families is not a political weakness, it's a winning strategy. He argues that voters are tired of being told that meaningful economic change is impossible and believes the latest victories prove otherwise. The bigger question now is whether Democrats can stay united. As the party heads toward crucial midterm elections, leaders face a difficult balancing act. They must bridge the growing divide between moderates and progressives while presenting a united front against Republicans. For now, one thing is clear. Zohran Mamdani is no longer just a local politician.